Hey.
Yes, Tahmina.
Okay, so hello everyone, good evening. My name is Tahmina Dawari, and I'm honored to serve as your mentor and moderator for today's webinar on building your brand strategies for career growth. I'm also a fellow at Women Essential Skills Development WASD. So now I'm delighted to introduce our esteemed trainer, Ms. Sanaa Ilyas, the Women Essentials country representative for Pakistan. Ms. Sanaa brings a wealth of experience in guiding individuals to achieve their career aspiration. Today she will share her insights on establishing actionable career goals, improving digital presence, and seeking mentorship effectively. Her experience will provide valuable strategies for all of us aiming to advance our careers. So what we will uh, learn in during the webinar as we proceed through today's season, I encourage each of you to reflect on how these strategies can be applied to your career journey. My role is to offer personalized advice and insights to help you effectively implement these strategies. Please feel free to ask questions or share your thoughts in the chat box throughout the presentation. I'm here to support you in navigating your career growth. With that, I will hand the floor over to Ms. Sanaa Ilyas. Thank you so much, Ms. Sanaa.
Thank you so much, Tahmina, for inviting me for this seminar. This is a topic that's really very near and dear to my heart. I always keep on working on things and strategies related to it. So it is an honor to be here sharing my insights and uh, learning new things in the process. I do hope that all of the participants who are here get to learn something from today's session, even if it's something that is related to a LinkedIn strategy or related to networking. And I do hope that it offers you some type of value. Definitely, the floor will be open for questions, jot them down along the way, and I will address all of your queries at the end. So let's start. Now, imagine this. Before we dive in, I want you to basically take in a moment and imagine. Picture yourself, all of you, just take this moment and picture yourself 1 year from now. Picture yourself that, okay, you've received an acceptance letter of your dream university in the program that you have been coveting for on 100% scholarship. You have started working remotely with your ideal setup that you had been working towards. You've got the job, you've got the promotion that you had in mind, or the internship that you were thinking about. Your LinkedIn is basically filled up with congratulations and new opportunities. So my question basically is, what was different? What did you do differently? In what way do you think you were able to utilize that year or year starting from now to achieve all of the things that you had in mind regarding the next step in your career? Now, as we move forth, just keep that picture in mind. Let's look at how you can turn that vision into a reality, whether that's a scholarship, whether that's a dream job, a fellowship that you're looking at, an internship that you like, that okay, this is a dream opportunity that's going to open up some new avenues for me. We always have that element in mind. So your journey to success basically is going to start off with the roadmap. And most of the time, what all of us do is that we have that in the start of the year, and I do think so all of us do that we set ourselves goals for the year or New Year's resolution. Okay, this year I'm going to read a few books. This year I am going to apply for that dream university. This year I'm going to do this and that. Now, usually what happens, it's somewhere around in October and November, we realize, oh, we had set those goals. We were planning to lose weight. We were thinking about eating healthier, taking care of ourselves, and somehow that hasn't happened. And the reason for that particularly is that most of the time we don't end up setting smart goals for ourselves. Our goals usually are vague, and just because there isn't a certain time limit that we have given them. We are not measuring them. We haven't broken them down in steps. that we have not considered in what way we will be able to achieve them. So, the first thing that we are going to have a look at today is in what way we can set SMART goals related to our career development. And I'm going to share examples along the way. A good idea would be you guys also write about one of the goals and apply the SMART strategy on that, and then see in what way does it provide you with more direction. Now, let's have a look at what SMART, particularly as an acronym or a SMART goal, basically stand for. S stands for something that's specific. So, if you're thinking about, okay, I want to improve my public speaking skills, or I want to get that summer internship, I want to get into a cultural exchange program. I want to connect with industry. I want to connect with mentors in the industry. So be specific, then, and be measured, and it needs to be measurable as well. If we have something that's quite vague, that okay, I'm going to improve my presentation skills, or I am going to read books, I'm going to read more books this year, so that may not be workable. How many more books are you going to read? What more are you going to do? So all of those things need to be there. Then A, it needs to be it basically needs to be achievable as well. Look, we need to, usually what we do with our goals is that we set such broad goals that it's not at times an achievable one. For example, if anyone here wants to apply for a scholarship, then we need to be realistic in a way that, okay, it usually is a thing that takes time. We need to work on our documents, we need to approach professors, we need to look at relevant scholarships, and then we can see that, okay, whether a certain opportunity is going to work out for us or not. And so we need to look at it from this dynamic that, okay, whether the what we are setting ourselves up for, is it realistic? Is it achievable within the time frame? Because the T basically stands for that, okay, it needs to be time bound. Now, uh, with regards to our earlier goals, that okay, when we say, okay, I'm going to learn coding. Okay, which language? How much? What's your first step going to be? How many months are you going to spend? What type of projects will you work on? So this is a roadmap that provides you with a little bit of more direction in terms of, okay, this is where we can go. Let's have a look at an example. Let's have a look at examples through which you can do that. So, are you ready to turn your career dreams into achievable milestones? So, if your answer is yes, then let's get smart. So, I'm going to share two examples with you, and then you can see in what way the main goal has been broken down into different steps. So the first one basically is improving public speaking skills. So I want to become a better public speaker. And public speaking is one of the main skills that a lot of us at times fear or may feel a little apprehensive about. So how you can make it a little bit specific? Number one, you can say, I can join Toastmasters or I can join an online group which helps one another learn, and basically maybe have open mic sessions in which we talk about anything that's ongoing, measurable. Number of speeches given. Maybe you're presenting in that Toastmasters, you're giving a presentation at the university, or you're hosting a webinar. So measure that. You gave one presentation, you gave two presentations per month. What achievable? Achievable in a way and actionable in a way that, okay, in what way uh, is a certain goal going to help you achieve things? For example, if you're planning to join Toastmasters, if you're planning to join a certain open mic online group, so do they provide a supporting environment for you to work towards it? Realistic. You're going to go ahead with, for example, giving one speech per month. That allows you time for preparation, that allows you time for maybe working on things. And then when it is about improvement, go with one thing at a time. Don't just think about, okay, I'm going to work on my non-verbals, I'm going to work on my content, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So slowly and gradually, when you work on things and you break a bigger goal into something that's small and achievable, you're able to do that. And time bound, you have a 6 month time frame. So this is how you can break your goal into something that's more achievable. This is how it can work. Right? I will join my local Toastmasters club and give at least one prepared speech per month for next 6 months. So you can see that, okay, what the larger goal is, it's specific, time limit has been given. Additionally, I'll volunteer to present at 2 team meetings at my work. And then the aim has been given. My aim is to reduce my use of filler words by 50% and increase my audience engagement scores on Toastmasters evaluation from an average of 3 to 4 out of 15. So you would see that, okay, for any goal that we're planning to achieve, why not set ourselves up for success and then break it down in minute, and break it down in a way that every time around you complete a step or you take another step, you are in a way celebrating yourself. You read a book, for example, just instead of saying that, okay, I'm going to read 2 books this month. Maybe your small goal is going to be, okay, every day, the first or 2 weeks, I am just because you're building the habit, I am going to read 2 pages every day. And from there onwards, you can go forth and develop your goal, develop that habit, and learn along the way. Now, I have one more example, and I'm going to go a little flip so you can have a look into that. Okay, how a larger goal can then be broken down into. For example, I will secure, I will basically secure a summer marketing internship at a tech startup by April 30th. To achieve this, I will update my LinkedIn profile by February. And then you would see that, okay, the person who has written this down has broken everything down in steps. I'll apply to at least 2 positions per week and conduct 3 informational interviews with marketing professionals by March 15th. I aim to receive at least 2 interview offers by April 1st. And always do, and also do consider one thing in mind. Sometimes we may need to go back and reassess. Sometimes things do not work out the way we are planning to. So always be a little flexible in terms of the time that you've given yourself. Have that space for growth. Have a look at how is it that you would like to go forth for things. For example, for the same marketing internship, maybe the person was not able to achieve the goal. But then this does not mean that they failed at it. It just means that, okay, they need to take a step back and have a look at, okay, what's there another approach that could have worked out? Or if a job fair is coming in their university, or is there a networking event taking place through which they will be able to approach they'll be able to approach potential startups and then gain that internship opportunity. So again, smart goal, be smart. Be specific in what you want to achieve. If it's a scholarship, which scholarship, what programs, which country you're looking at, what are their requirements, what time frame are you looking at, are you looking at a fall intake, are you looking at a spring intake, and then in what way is that going to be achievable? Have you joined or have you started looking at relevant have you started looking at people from that program who can help you understand that, okay, how the process there works out? Realistic. Just don't, for example, if the because the admission cycle in different universities is starting, so just don't say you do definitely apply, but keep an open mind that you may not be getting selected this time around. But as an experience, it's good to do so, so that you understand the process and set yourself up for success in the upcoming months. And clear deadlines with each and every step with a final goal date. And that can be again shifted here and shifted, keeping in mind what things are. Okay. Now that we have talked about SMART goals, and I hope so that it was clear for everyone, is everybody ready for the next step?
Yes, Miss Sana.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, okay. Let's have a look at what do I have next for you, because we're talking about building a brand and in what way your branding and your career development along the way is going to look like. Number one, it has to do with, okay, setting up smart goals. Number two, what else can you do that can help you build your brand in which you stand out among all of the people who are there, among the crowd? How is it that you can, people would say, okay, this is a person that I want. This is a person that is the right fit for the project that I'm working on. So the best way in which you can basically do that is through digital branding, LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is basically your networking avenue 24/7. Now you have this amazing opportunity to network with individuals from across the world at any time, at any day. It's just have to be about you being able to position yourself in that global marketplace. So, how would you position yourself? How will you build your brand? What strategies do you need to actually adopt to do that? So, we are basically going to have a look at that. I do know that all of you have LinkedIn profiles. A good way of ensuring that you are able to achieve visibility, you're able to achieve, you're able to develop those meaningful connections, uh, and you're able to build your brand. That, okay, who is it that makes you the person that you are? How is it that you stand out in the market? So that is what we're going to have a look at right now. Now, within LinkedIn profiles, there are a couple of things that are really very standard. Number one, you need to have a professional picture. Now, when I talk about a professional picture, you need to have a high quality recent headshot. Now, within that recent headshot, it needs to have a 60-40% ratio with your background. Don't take a selfie. Usually selfies sometimes work out, or not some a background that's really very festive. Something that's professional and that you should be smiling as well. And that's how people get to know who you are. Most of the time, recruiters end up saying that profiles without a picture uh, basically do not seem as credible to them. So if you are on LinkedIn, just ensure that you do have a picture there and in a way that represents who you are, on that represents the image that you want people to relate you with. Number two, have a compelling headline. Now, within the 120 characters that are most of the time visible on our screen, make sure that you're including keywords from the industry so we get to know actually who is it that you are? Are you a recent graduate? Are you an HR professional? Are you a social media or a digital marketing expert? Who is it that we are going to be talking to? Usually, I've seen people, and what they do is that um, Rafia asked a question. Rafia, yes, you can do that. You can definitely do that. You can definitely upload your picture in Whale. And again, the same dynamics apply. It needs to be high quality. It needs to be recent. And again, look dynamic. I have seen recently pictures of the social media campaign that Women Extension is doing. And in that, the some of the girls are wearing a veil and they're looking amazing actually. So you can definitely do that. Okay. Um, then include keywords from the industry. I've seen one of the things that I've seen people do is that they have this long actually phrases written. Okay, this is what I'll be able to achieve. Now, or they are really very busy looking headlines. Look, you want people to approach you. You need to be, it's just that, okay, they're going to have a look at your LinkedIn profile maybe for 10 seconds. And if they feel like that, okay, you're not the right person, you don't see focused enough, they'll move forward. So 3 to 4 maybe things within your headline. Okay, what you're doing at the moment, what skills is it that you offer, what unique value proposition do you have? Then The third section is also quite important. That is, write an engaging summary and write that in first person, who you are, what have you achieved till yet, and have it quantify things, add in bullet points along the way. For example, if you are a recent graduate or if you're a student, you can focus on your extra co-curricular activities, you can focus on any internships, you can focus on the projects that you are working on in the university. All of those help you build your profile. So at times when students say that, okay, what should we write? Because we do not have any experience, your university projects actually will work for you for showcasing what skills you're working on. Then within the experience section, use action verbs like what did you action verbs like completed, directed, coordinated. So there is, if you search on Google, you'll find this list of whole action verbs that, okay, and that showcases that, okay, what is it that you worked on. And then quantify it. For example, okay, let's have an example. For example, for an event in the university, you had to gain sponsorships and you had a target of 100,000 rupees or 100 or $1,000. Now you overachieved your target by maybe 25%. And then you can say that, okay, collected funds or collected or gathered or collected sponsorships for the main event in the university and overachieved my goal by 25%. Now, if you just write that, okay, your role was I worked in sponsorships. Now, my I worked in sponsorships seems really very bland, but when you put it as an actionable statement, you have an action verb, what you did, and you quantified it. That is when it helps other people see that, okay, you're a person who gets things done. Then skills and endorsements. Now, one of the best things about LinkedIn is that you can talk about both your soft skills and your technical skills. Mostly in resumes, what we have to do, or in CVs, is that we have to limit ourselves to the specific skill set that the employer is looking for. But here you can talk about both your hard skills and your soft skills. And if it's possible, for example, especially if it's possible, you can gain endorsements as well from your colleagues, people who you've worked with, or your professors, if they are on LinkedIn related to, for example, your research skills, your collaboration skills, your teamwork skills. So in this way, those are the skills that particularly get highlighted. Then have a custom URL. I have seen the LinkedIn profiles where the URL has not been customized. Try customizing the URL. And that also showcases that, okay, you've put in a little bit of more effort with your LinkedIn profile. Okay. I will show you a few examples, and then that will just showcase some more, uh, provide more clarity. Now, this was one of the pictures, and then you could see that, okay, within the headshot that's present, and then that's with the plain background. And then the banner at the back showcases basically what their work is, the newsletter, and then this is more about a call to action thing. Now, in the case you have a certain strategy in mind, you have a newsletter. If you don't have a newsletter, maybe for the time being, it can be something that elevates your identity, or use your the second element, and again, use your real name with the correct spelling so that people are able to find you. At times, recruiters are looking for people on LinkedIn, or they have just typed your name in the case you did not write it on your resume. And if there is a spelling mismatch, they may not be able to find you. And then you would see that, okay, within their headline, they've written CEO, Epic Entrepreneur Media, founder, Epic Business. So, in a way, that's showcasing what is it that this person does. So, you can also think about it, okay, how is it that I can also highlight my skills and strategies? Now, this is an engaging about to section for of a fifth semester marketing student. I won't be able to talk more in detail because of the time limitations, but I'll showcase that, okay, when you're writing your about section, add in bullet points. And again, similar to what you did, what you will do for your experience section, quantify things here as well. Sometimes when people are looking at your headline and then go to your about section, they would want to get to know that, okay, what is it that you do? And then you can also give them a call to action. Let's connect. How? Give them an email ID, give them maybe if you're comfortable, your phone number as well or your WhatsApp number, and then maybe people will be able to connect to you. Um, and then what skills are you also highlighting? Now you do have the option of also highlighting what skill set is it that you have, especially in your skill section as well. Okay. So try different things out. I will be sharing these slides so you can have a look at how these have been written. Now, I've talked about the experience section in detail, but let's have a look at one. Always write in chronological order. Chronological order, reverse chronological order basically means that, okay, the latest thing that you're working on, the latest project or the latest organization that you're working for at the top, and then the rest of the work. Then details with respect to the name of the organization, the role that you worked in, and the duties that you had. If you don't talk about sometimes similar roles. For example, if I'm in the coordinator role, or if you are in a social media or as a marketing social media marketer role, sometimes roles are going to be different. Or are going to be similar. What can make your profile stand out is basically going to be the achievement showcase. And that's going to start off with number one, start off with talking about start off with an action verb. So if you would see here, conjured up a social media campaign in which that boosted engagement by 40% and attracted 10,000 new followers in just 3 months. Teamed up with three sales ninja to create content, weaved my wand over the company newsletter, turning a 15% open rate into a magical 22%. Now, with respect to one question that at times I get asked is, can we use emojis? Yes, you can, but not a lot of them. Use them to showcase your personality, but don't go overboard. Sometimes it may, to a certain recruiter, may end up looking a little childish. So maybe in the headline, this is an example that I created for a course that I'm working on. So this is what I did there. Now, another thing is, how is it that you network how is it that you can leverage your networking on LinkedIn? Number one, be intentional. At times, what we do is that just because we want to increase our reach or we want to show how many followers we have, we end up connecting with everybody. Now, the purpose actually on LinkedIn also is to be very intentional and getting to know the network that you're building. Who are the people in your network? Who are there, in what way you can either add value or or they can add value to you. Uh, yes, have people from different industries, but that does not at all mean that that does not at all mean that, okay, that when we are working on when we are connecting with people, we add in everybody in our network. Be intentional. Also connect to people within your own industry and other associated industries as well. Maybe your alumni, because at times you get to know about what's ongoing, which organizations they're working in, and are there any opportunities present there as well. Or not only opportunities, but are there any collaboration elements present? When you're networking or when you're connecting with someone, write them a note. So something not generic, but something that showcases a very short one, because at times people do not maybe may not have a lot of time, but it adds a nice touch that, okay, you want to get to know who they are and in what way both of you can add value to one another. Another thing is engage with posts. Now, it's not just about engaging with posts, has to not be just about reposting and just about liking people's posts. Genuine engagement basically means what they have written, any questions that they have asked, or any comments that you have regarding a trend that they're talking about, regarding the idea that they're sharing. Do share that, but be polite, even if you disagree with what they are saying. Because again, as humans, our perspectives can definitely vary, and they should. So be be polite and courteous when you're sharing your perspective as well. And moreover, join different groups too. Groups are one of the ways through which you can get to know about different opportunities that are upcoming, and also people who are within that particular niche or industry. You're looking at marketing, you're looking at HR, you're looking at data analytics, you're looking at front end development, back end development. So all of that, there are going to be different groups for that. So joining a group on LinkedIn at times connects you with similar people from across the globe who would either have a similar skill set or have that expertise. Moving forth, I am also going to talk about one more thing, creating content on LinkedIn. And I do think so at times this is one of the daunting parts of building our brand. Look, when you're writing, when you're sharing who you are, that is where you are actually reinforcing or talking more about your brand. If you're talking about digital marketing, or if you're talking about AI in education or AI in recruitment, so all of that is basically letting people know that, okay, you know what you're talking about. uh, Building your brand has to be about, okay, with number one, as you're building your brand, try experimenting with different types of posts. You can have a text post, you can have a short video, you can have a carousel. Maybe you can try out a poll, and then see what is the type of content that your audience or your network engages with more. And the more you build content, you get to know your audience, okay, what their preferences are, and in what way you can build your brand. Another thing in terms, I just saw a question in which somebody asked me that, okay, how do post impressions make an impact, or how is it that what type of content maybe can get more posts as well. Recently, what I've seen is we basically are getting the humanized element within posts is something that's getting highlighted more. Where you're talking about what makes you who you are. You're talking about maybe sharing your own experiences, maybe fighting anxiety in public speaking, or maybe about second chances and presentations, or any other thing. And then definitely your expertise. Carousel posts do really very well from what I've seen, because again, visuals do well. So there are different types of things that you can try. And again, the more you experiment, the more you'll get to see, okay, this is what I can try. This is what I can see, how is it that I can build who I am. And be open to making mistakes as well. That's okay. The best thing about posting on LinkedIn is, or developing content for LinkedIn is that it's free. You don't have to pay anything, and then you are through that experimenting with who you are, experimenting with the type of content that you would want to build around. And do keep in mind, and I do think so, because all of you are on LinkedIn, you know that, okay, content on LinkedIn is going to vary from the content that's present on Instagram or any other social media platform. Sharing your experiences is always a good idea. Sharing your experiences maybe of the current webinar, or maybe for some of you who have had a long day, um, talking about the element of maybe what is it that you've gotten out of that. So things like that. And sometimes, and I've seen some of the LinkedIn experts talking about it, that slowly and gradually, once you're building your brand and you have figured your niche out, You can also look into developing your own newsletter, and that can come further on, not right now. Once you're starting off, just start off with writing, because writing is not an easy process. Putting what's in your mind on a piece of paper or into writing, nah, is a complicated task. So start off with thinking about, okay, this is what I want to try, this is how I want to go ahead with things, and then see what works for you. Find your voice. Now, moving ahead, we are going to have a look at leveraging mentorships and why this is needed. It's very important to have good mentors, good mentors and coaches, because that's going to create that difference for you. It's going to give you that additional boost in your career development, because people who you pick as your mentors can guide you in ways that can accelerate your growth. Number one, identify. For example, within identification, also do have a look at for your mentor. If that person needs to be somebody who inspires you as well. Their journey is similar to maybe the journey that you're having at the moment, starting off a little unsure or sure, but not sure in terms of how you're going to get there. Um, Network with people on LinkedIn, alumni groups, industry connections, and at times different organizations have mentorship programs as well. So have a look at what that mentorship program is or who that mentor is going to be for you. Number two, have a look at qualities. They need to have the relevant experience. Now, if you're looking for somebody who can teach you related to who can basically teach you related to digital marketing, you need to look for a person with relevant experience, and they need to have good communication skills. And the most important one, they need to be willing to share they need to be willing to share their ideas. If they're not willing, it would become really very hard for you to go on that journey with them as a mentor. Now, number one, once you have identified that person, also look at how you'll be approaching them. Be clear about your goal and be polite as well. They may not have time, they may have other commitments. So have 2 to 3 people in mind. And be clear in terms of how they can help you. Most of the time, if people have time, if people have space, they are definitely willing to help you out. Um, have clear expectations. Once they say that, okay, yes, I would like to have you as my mentee, discuss your goals. Okay, what do you want to learn from them? Meet frequently, for example, once a month or twice a month, and be respectful at times if they're not able to make it to a certain commitment. But what could that be? And then another thing, uh, you should also showcase your commitment to them by being ready, by being respectful, and be prepared in every meeting with specific question to show you have done the homework and you value the input that they are basically providing you. Then do appreciate them as well. Express gratitude and look for ways to add value to your mentors. And that could be in different ways by becoming the person that they basically have groomed you to be. So there are multiple things that are there. Now, this is one of the most important things in career growth, professional development. And at times, I have seen that at times when professionals or when we get into our first jobs or our second job or what we consider to be our dream job, we at times tend to not focus on this element. And this, I believe, is one of the most important elements within career growth. First element within that is continuous learning. Always and always continue to learn, regardless of whether you're in the start of your career, you're in the middle of your career, wherever you are in your journey. Never, ever, ever stop learning. That is where, because things are changing so fast, that is how we get to learn what's ongoing. There are courses and certifications available. The internet is full of platforms that can help you get a certification or a course. Coursera definitely is one of the top platforms. Then you have edX, Udemy. Okay, personally, my favorite platform is Udemy. The reason for that is the courses get updated really very fast, and they are by industry profession. They are people who are working in the industry. Coursera courses, yes, those courses also get updated. They are offered by organizations like Google, they're offered by top tier universities. But at times, content there may get a little time to get updated. So if you're looking for updated content, Udemy would be the place to go. And always do keep an eye out. They usually have coupons there, which can help you get a course at a bargain rate. Keep on reading and researching as well. On LinkedIn, people that you follow from your own industry, read what they're posting about, what developments they're talking about. Because at times you get asked different questions. You get asked in an interview, okay, regarding a certain thought leader, regarding a certain strategy that is upcoming, regarding a certain trend within your own industry. And at that point, the company wants to, or the panel wants to get an assessment about, okay, are you learning? Do you know what the trends in your industry are? And this is the best way to actually keep on learning. Because on LinkedIn, people do post about different things, they share about their ideas, and also do read up on Forbes and any other magazine that you can get your hands on. Um, Webinars and podcasts. Subscribe to podcasts and attend webinars or seminars. That is another way through which you can look into developing yourself and learning the strategy. Now, with regards to skill development, um, look, the industry or the way in which the job market is changing at the moment. The that we have at the moment may not be enough. You may need to add in an addition of skills or learn other skills along the way to stand out in the crowd. Now, at the moment, the skills that are looked at by employers are basically your element of AI literacy. Do you know how to incorporate AI within your workflow? Can you work with different AI tools? So, and not only with that, but also what other skills do you bring along the way? For example, as a digital marketer or as a UI UX designer, what is there? So keep on reading job descriptions and also consult your mentor. Job description because that will help you see what's the changing trend in the market at the moment. What are employers looking for? What type of software, what type of skill is it that is a focus? Because since ChatGPT was released, there have been new skills or there have been new jobs that have gotten added which weren't there. And by the time in the next 2 to 3 years or in the next 10 years, there could be new jobs added, and some of the jobs that are present right now may not be present. Then also have a skill development plan. Prioritize skills based on your career goals. You want to be a UI UX designer, you want to be a digital marketer, front end, back end developer, hmm. You want to work in the financial market. Prioritize your skills based on that and set smart goals. We've just talked about that in the start. And the best way to actually build your portfolio and tell people how you have developed those skills and showcase your skills is through practice and application. Don't wait for somebody to give you a project to work on. Develop your portfolio yourself because that will showcase it to respective maybe research groups, that will showcase it to employers that okay, you're a proactive person who gets things done. And the best thing is basically your experience. The more you experience, the more you apply your skills, you get to know what works, what doesn't work. And then you can have a much deeper discussion related to your insights when you experience and when you talk about all of those things. So always practice, develop your own portfolio. Don't wait for somebody else to hand you over a project and then say, okay, go apply. If you're working in maybe data analytics, there are data sets present on the internet. Take a data set and test different things out, and don't be afraid to make a mistake. The more you make a mistake, the more you get to learn about the process. It can be frustrating. It can be some days you'll be like, oh no, why am I not getting the answer? But then you will figure an answer out. And that is where that will differentiate you from the crowd. Now, that was basically my last slide. And this is something, and this is a quote that's really very near and dear to my heart. The capacity to learn is a gift. All of us have that. The ability to learn is a skill. All of us being here is basically showcasing that we've had. Willingness to learn is a choice. So, how all of us take these skills, these strategies, and go forth is basically what's going to determine us, or what's going to differentiate us from the rest. So, the floor is open for questions. Let me know what you guys have in mind. Okay. Recommend a best certification platform for project management. Okay, Google Career Certificates on Coursera. You can look that up. And at times, Google partners with local organizations in third world countries. So you can check whether Google Career Certificates has a certain program for your country as well. If not, you can also apply for financial aid on Coursera. Another thing you can do is that you can try out, maybe have a look at Udemy. Um, but Google Career Certificate is a good way, okay, of improving your skills. Okay. Okay. Rafia had okay, I'll address that. Ghazal asked about how post impressions make an impact. Is there any limit to quantify the post impression? Most of the time, you get to know how much impressions your posts are getting. Um, I have seen that at times reposts may not get a lot of impressions versus your own, when you're sharing your own words, your own ideas, any experience that you've had, and you add in an image alongside. So that, and I reactivated my LinkedIn recently, and I didn't used to be that in terms of open for putting myself out there or sharing my own pictures. But recently, I've felt like that, okay, it's important to share our journey, because it is through our journey that maybe we can reach other people, we can learn from other people as well. And it has been an interesting experience. It has been an interesting experience till yet. Can we take free courses through the LinkedIn Learning app? Look, if it's free, why not? Have a look at different courses that are available, and try different things out, but do something that's more value addition in terms, um, who is offering the course, what course are they offering, what's ongoing there. Um, AI based, go have a look at what certifications, and again, do have a look at what is it that you want within your own industry. So it's necessary to have higher numbers of post impressions. You get a higher reach, but an engagement, but then you also need to have a look at, are you reaching the right people with the engagement that you want to have? At times, people do boost their posts, but if it's not reaching the right people, your post impressions may not then be of any value to you. So build the right network, start building the right network, start experimenting with the type of posts that you would want to have, with the type of content that you want to experiment with, and then see that, okay, what works, what doesn't work. Maybe what works for me in my industry may not work in your industry. Something that works out for my audience may not work out for your. So that's why I always say, always try experimenting with things and then see, okay, what works and what doesn't work. Because on LinkedIn and on social media, there's no one fit all formula. There are strategies there, but with regards to content, maybe a video content element works for you, and maybe it may not work out. Maybe it may not work out for another person with regards to the type of video, the type of industry they're present in, and what they're talking about. Are they talking just about their day, or are you sharing some insights about the industry? Infographics work out really very well at times. So all of these things are there. Any other question that you may have? Thank you so much as well. It was a pleasure uh, to be here and to talk about these things. Ghazal, I will not suggest per se to have a philosophical headline or a quote. Okay, the reason for that is keywords are when people search based on keywords. May I know? Um, okay, I think so. You're in the Ghazal. You're in the social media team. Okay. Now, with regards to okay, perfect. Now, what happens if you have a philosophical post is that when somebody looks for example, digital media expert, or they're looking for a social media strategist, and those keywords are not present anywhere in your, especially in your headline, your profile will be passed over for somebody whose profile has all of those elements written. That's why if you would at times open up different people's profile, you would see that okay, they have listed the skills, they have listed the roles that they would like to do. For example, digital marketing expert, social media manager, and then what is your unique value proposition? You can have a look at that. Um, do try for both, but I will not suggest uh, you to add a philosophical line because, again, when somebody is searching with specific keywords, your profile may not be ranked there. That is what could be an issue there. Perfect. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Tahmina, for inviting me for this session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your chat time. And should we close now?
If the audience does not have any other questions, then I think so we are good to go. They can always reach out to me on LinkedIn if they have any queries or concerns, or maybe just simply network can work out that way as well.
Okay, so I think no one has a question anymore. So
Okay,
we are going to close
perfect.
it.
Okay,
Okay, so thank you all for joining today's webinar. I hope you found the information valuable and feel inspired to take actionable steps toward your career goals. To receive, remember to set clear, actionable goals, enhance your digital presence, and seek mentorship as you build your brand. I encourage you to apply what you have learned today to your unique situation. Lastly, if you have any question or need future guidance, don't hashtag to reach out to us on LinkedIn. And a special thanks to Ms. Sanaa Ilyas for her individual insights. And thank you again to all participants, wishing you the best on your career journey. Thank you all. Best of luck.
thank you, everyone. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, we are good to go.